All right, so Ryan shocking himself goes to 18, does nothing with it, draws on the upkeep, trying to keep his Abrupt Decay mana open. Oh, it looks like Farrell just passed
Farrell's
the turn.
stuck on 2.
That's not good.
With no red, so almost all the removal in Jund relies on red. They have, I guess,
Fatal Push, Abrupt Decay.
Abrupt Decay,
Maelstrom Pulse.
Maelstrom Pulse, right. So there's 7 cards.
So, but the Terminates do.
The Terminates do and the Lightning Bolts do.
The Liliana of the Veil doesn't.
Alright, well, I'm useless.
Feckless even. Alright, so now we've got Goyf playing into an Abrupt Decay, which you had to have put him on.
Yeah, it can't be countered, though. So any Stubborn Denials that Ryan was backing up with don't matter here. Alright, Ryan Kurz going to 11.
This is interesting.
Is it?
That he's only going to 11, yeah. So now he can play out a 2/2 Death Shadow and have backup.
Alright. And here it is backed up by...
So you don't have to play around Bolt, although he can because he has Tarfire in his hand. And now the Inquisition comes.
There's an Inquisition. So he leaves Tarfire active because I guess he wants to bait him with that. You know, if Farrell's going to take the Tarfire, Kurz is going to be more than happy about it, right?
Sure, and Tarfire's great. Killing Bobs.
Yeah?
Yep, the best Bob killer in the land.
Just in that list, or
In the land.
in the
whole land.
in all of Modern?
Yeah, because you get to
Pump your Goyf.
you get to pump your Goyfs, you get to do a little bit of stunting. So like anybody,
Stunting?
yeah, you get to stunt a little bit. Anybody can bolt a Goyf or bolt a Bob, like that's whatever.
Easy game.
But like Gut Shot, premium. Tarfire, premium. Like that's where you want to be to kill these Bobs.
I mean, Gutshot, when you're tapped out, like they play their Bob into you being tapped out, like all smug, and you're just like Gutshot that bad boy.
Gut Shot that bad boy. Not as good as the Gut Shot heard around the world from Pro Tour Eldrazi Winter, but pretty close.
Yeah, gosh. That's how you know that deck was overpowered, because people were going so deep on the deck that, you know, we got shotted. So Kurz takes 3 here, so 1 from the fetch and 2 from the Tarfire on himself. This gets his Death Shadow above 4 power, which makes his Stubborn Denial a hard counter for any instant or sorcery.
Yes, it does. And also it gets quite a bit more damage in on Farrell.
And Farrell is just pushing it real good here. He's got
Flush
all
with
this
removal.
action.
Here's another one. Untap, upkeep, draw, push.
Yeah, when you look at this Death Shadow deck, it doesn't... When you read the list, you're like, okay, I've got 8 threats. But it just plays like it has so much more threat density than it does in reality.
Right, because of Colligan's commands and traverses, if you've got those in the list.
Yeah, man, if you're going across the Uvenwald, you're doing the right things.
Can't do anything with
Right.
all these cards.
Yeah, Farrell,
Got a little hosed on the mana there.
yeah, a little constricted.
That's life, though. So I want to try out a Jund build with a little bit of spicy tech from the new set,
This the set we currently have, or the forthcoming set?
Amencat.
Okay.
Ronus, I think, is very good.
I was talking to an elf player, who said he put it into his elf deck online and was very happy with the results.
I think it gives you more game against these Death Shadow decks.
Sure.
And that's a very big deal.
Yeah, he said that like it lets you play these lords that produce like a gajillion mana. And acts as both like a more stable Azuri.
Sure. So I think the role, obviously, in the Jund deck is significantly different. But it's easy to turn on with your Goyfs. And, like, usually your 4-drops. Plus its ability. But it does a great job on pressuring life totals.
Okay.
Because it gives the +2/+0 to, like, your other creatures that normally wouldn't be too much of a threat offensively, like your Bobs, for instance.
Right.
Additionally, because it's indestructible and Death Touch, it shuts down their offensive, like, Death Shadows.
Sure.
So,
very
solid.
The card I'm surprised hasn't just slotted into these Jund decks.
Here's this sexy Sneck.
Yeah, look at that god. Oh my god.
Sneck,
god, look at him.
So his activation giving trample is also very relevant because Goyfs can get big and then they're kind of prone to being chumped for a couple turns until...
Yeah, it's one of the reasons Lingering Souls is so good against the Jund deck.
Right, and so Ronus helps you turn the corner a little bit faster against those Lingering Souls deck. But I'm sorry, the other card you were...
I'm surprised hasn't gotten slotted in at least as a 1 or 2 of is the green-red cycling land.
Okay.
So it's fetchable because it does have the forest mountain
fetchable.
type.
It is technically fetchable.
I mean, not saying it's the premium card to fetch, but in a pinch you can fetch it, and it just improves your density of draws. So you just you get to cycle it out of the way if you don't need it. I could see going down to like 3 Raging Ravines and one of the cycling land. No, am I just totally wrong?
So
what if
shaving
a
Raging Ravine is a cardinal sin.
Okay.
So Reed Duke actually shaves a Raging Ravine for 1 less land.
But he's Reed Duke.
If I'm not playing the full set of Raging Ravines, I'm feeling like I'm naked. Walking through the streets naked.
I'm just gonna throw this out there to all of our listeners and viewers. If you're doing something else while you're listening to us talk about these matches, stop what you're doing. I'm gonna inform you, you're never gonna play as good as Reed Duke. Like, that guy plays way better than you all the time, and...
Dude, what if, like, Finkel is listening right now?
God, if John Finkel's listening, I'm
very sorry for not ulting my Planeswalker that one time.
Yeah, I owe you an apology, but I was very nervous. I played really bad against him.
I believe you.
I'm not the kind to get starstruck.
But you got starstruck.
I've been to many industry events where, like, the top dogs in my industry, my professional industry, are, like, around, and I've met them, and, like, I can have completely normal conversations with them. Playing Magic against John Finkel was actually impossible. Like, I was casting the cards and paying appropriate costs and all that stuff, but doing it in any kind of semblance of a reasonable play was completely out the window.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe you. I was very sad I didn't get to watch that. That would have been a fun one to watch.
Sure. Alright, so we got a Scavenging Ooze here. This has to be one of the better cards in the matchup.
Is it?
It gets to control the Goyf. And
but I mean, it just dies to, like, every removal spell.
Yeah, I can't. Well, you can't say a creature's bad because it dies to removal spells. There's a removal spell, but you also
can if it doesn't have, like, an immediate impact. So
it also mitigates the Snapcaster Mages.
Does he run Snapcaster Mages?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Not against this list. I was on the Grixis list, and
You should be ashamed of yourself.
You
should be ashamed of yourself.
I am a little bit.
I think Farrell's stuck on 2 again. This time he's got the offense, though.
Yeah, it does not matter because this Tarmogoyf is huge.
Nile Spellbomb, exile your graveyard. I gotta imagine he just wants to draw a card here.
Yeah, he's trying to hit that third land.
Push it.
Real good.
Alright, so
Ryan wants the third land real bad because I see a Liliana hiding out in the back. Here's 2
multi-lilies. So this is dangerous. Jund does have access to the Maelstrom Pulse.
Sure.
And if you get blown out by a Maelstrom Pulse here, that is a huge game.
An embarrassment, even.
Borderline embarrassing.
Alright. No
but
Maelstrom
a fetch
Pulse
here is insane.
Well, maybe he ran it out because, Farrell was stuck on 2 lands and searching. You know what I mean? He was actively cracking the... He didn't crack the Spellbomb this time, which I feel like if you're going to commit to it the first time, you might as well commit to it the second time. It's worth 3 life here. If he would have hit the land, it would have been totally worth 3 life.
Right, but if Kurz has a fetch land here, then it's just like complete blowout. So he pops, draws, gets a land. I mean, if he gets a land that can cast the Fatal Push, you're living the dream.
Better.
And he would have, as it turns out. But if Kurz had the fetch, he could fetch, shock, swing in for 12, put him to 3. Not a great place to be.
Right.
As it is, Farrell's managed to kill both of Kurz's threats and has the Nile Spellbomb to shut off any Kolaghan's Command shenanigans. So it looks like Kurz does have the Kolaghan's Command, 1 of each Lily. I believe that's a Maelstrom Pulse.
Is that? That can't be a Maelstrom Pulse.
I think it's a Maelstrom Pulse.
Alright, here's Liliana of the Veil. She's going to plus. And Kurz's 4th land goes to the graveyard.
Yeah, you don't really want 4. That's definitely a Maelstrom Pulse.
Alright.
Oh, God.
See, okay. Alright, Liliana's a reasonable discard here. I would just cast as many cards as I could. So I would traverse for...
Yeah, traverse for a land. Pop a land. I mean, you can get his Maelstrom Pulse, or get his Lily with your Maelstrom Pulse, but it also gets yours, doesn't it?
Yeah, so that's one thing the play back in the day is people used to Maelstrom Pulse their own Thrun.
Yeah.
To kill their opponent's Thrun.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, man. I mean, going down on card advantage is better than dying.
Correct. But this Maelstrom Pulse is effectively dead at this point.
Concur.
So it should be discarded. Oh, man. Discard the Kolaghan's Command.
Okay, so he was just... I don't understand what happened there.
Well, so he has the Traverse left, and he has Delirium now. So he could technically run it out and get something if that is a Traverse. Right? He's got Planeswalker, Instant, Sorcery, Land? No, the land was gone. Sorry, the land got exiled with the second Nile Spellbomb.
Alright, so Ryan's going to reveal the Traverse. Alright, and this has to catch a Terminate. Only being at 8, you can't take a chunk of 4.
No, and also getting rid of that now is a big deal.
No, he doesn't have anything.
I don't think he added anything.
It didn't. No, it didn't. No, he didn't. He added instant. Kolaghan's Command. What?
He just didn't.
Oh, okay. He just missed it last turn. Okay. You did Delirium without the Traverse Thieving Wall. You can't count the Traverse, so I don't know what else is down there, but...
Maelstrom Pulse.
Okay.
So he did have it last turn.
So this is a productive turn.
Yeah, we get to
a 5/5 and a Grim Lavamancer.
pretty strong. Farrell does have one card in hand. Kurz also has one card in hand. I don't know what that card is.
All right. What do you got, Mike? He's got the pass.
He's got a Fatal Push in hand.
And a swamp. Oh, he's attacking with the Lavamancer. Okay, so we're going to traverse and play another Death Shadow.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. The deck plays like it has some super high threat density.
Alright, so this Death Shadow is now representing 7.
Is it?
Yes, because 13 minus 6 is 7.
Nice. Excellent.
So we get to swing in for 7.
Paying for 2, so literally if this card in hand lets Ryan lose any number of life, you should be leaving the Grim Lavamancer back here.
Well, so if there's nothing that makes him lose 1 life.
No, here's why. It matters because if you do this, Farrell can still pop his fetch lands if he were to need to, you know what I mean?
Sure. That'll do it.
Okay, so he had a line with the cards in his hand that allowed him to win the game. But my point is, putting somebody to 1 in Modern is like a very real thing.
Yeah.
Because it turns off their fetch lands.
So yeah, I agree that putting him to 1, but in that case, if you don't swing with the Lavamancer, then like you just put him to 1. But if you have anything that deals 2 to yourself, which is literally everything in the deck, like there's nothing that just deals 1 except for just a fetch by itself not getting a shock.
Right.
Then you just win the game.
Okay.
And there's just so many different outs there.
All right.
Realistically, you didn't even need to get the Street Wraith. You could just swing in and then Colligan's command shoot him for 2. Game.
Right.
His was a little more foolproof. Protects him against... I can't think of anything.
Right. Anyway, yeah, I thought that was an interesting matchup.
Yeah, we get some interesting action there. They're discussing a little bit of sideboarding now. I think this is very much a good matchup for the Death Shadow deck.
Concur.
When it's just the stock Jund list.
Agreed. I think the Jund lists in these parts get a little... they say inbred is the colloquialism, because there's so many Jund lists, and the metagame kind of doesn't turn as fast as it will at like a Grand Prix level.
Definitely. I mean, it's interesting. Jund's one of those decks that's great because of the versatility, because you can build it so many different ways.
Yep.
It just doesn't look like it's adjusted yet to the Death Shadow meta, and I think there's definitely some options to do so. It's just taking a little bit longer than normal. We'll get there.
I look for those adjustments. Anyway, we'll come back here about 30 minutes, provide you more hot Modern action.